Hello, everybody. Corey here. We're going to talk just a little bit about the ULTY distribution and estimates. If you have watched my videos about this, like this, the past since yesterday or even today's, you probably have no reason to watch this. But I'm creating this because I've had multiple people ask me if I was going to do a video on this. I was just combining it with the, trades and holdings and stuff, just because it's really not a lot to go over like the other things, a little bit more in depth and lots of things. And yeah, I can show you tons of stuff here. But in the end, you know, I don't know. I can tell you, I can show you some data and I could tell you what I think I might do, and I can tell you what I think YieldMax might do. But I can't definitively, tell you this is what it's going to be. So I'm just going to go over this. I know I did this yesterday in depth on the trades and holdings, but I'm going to do it here separately. Again, for those of you that may not watch the trades and holdings video. But here, this is just a roll up. Since this is just one ETF, I'm just looking at this, I know it has lots of stocks and stuff within it, but it's really just one ETF. So what I've done here, I've created a line for each pay period. That's what we call it for work, is a pay period. So that's sort of what I've adopted here. And so our first pay period, was like February 28th. Obviously, it wasn't the declaration date, but, the inception of the ULTY fund. And then the next column, right, is the day before the next declaration date. I should have an L there. It looks like December. But anyway, so that time period was 10 days, which is what's in captures in column G. I guess I could have moved that over to the left. I guess that makes more sense. It was just an afterthought, so I just added it there to the end. So I guess I could move that. I just don't know how easy. Yeah, oh, there we go. It's like, so usually I can't move stuff easily on here when I'm on the iPad, so then I usually don't do it. Let's see, I'm already having issues. Dang. All right, well, I made some changes. I still don't like it. See, I spend hours and hours on all these workbooks, and then I sit here and do a video, and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to do this, and I want to do that. And I still don't like what I did. But, so, up there at the top, I just moved that data over, and moved the days column over. So, pay days, pay period, days here. I don't like the way that says, but I'll go and change this because I don't really like it. So I'll just do that. So I'll look at this later. But anyway, we have 23 days left, which is 80%, 87% of the time. And I was trying to line those days up with the days column. I don't really want to make several columns just to add this down at the bottom, but it doesn't really look good at the top either. Maybe I'll throw it at the bottom somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, that's what that is. It's just so we can measure right. So yes, we have 3 days left. So if it's Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and then Monday. But if you've been following this stuff and you've been following the trades, and you see that on Thursday and Friday, you might see some trades closing some things out, paying to close some things out. Usually that's on Friday, if they can expire or don't expect that they will expire worthless or don't want to take the chance. But the days for the premium, right, that's going to be mostly on Monday and then maybe some on Tuesday, maybe a little bit through the week. But so we have, I guess what I'm getting at is for this, Monday is our next heavy day as far as our last heavy day, even though we have 3 days left this pay period. But so that's what the days column is. The first pay period was 10 days. This pay period, we're currently at 20 days. And maybe maybe I should put the number date. No, I don't like that. I like it showing the 20 days where we're at right now, because then that's what this data is based on, is the 20 days, and we still have 3 left. So yeah, we'll leave that like that. And then the pink, all these pinks, right? We have pink down here. Let's see, where's my thing? We have pink here, pink here, pink here, and we have pink on all of here. So the reason for that is the very first day of trades that they made, they owned the underlying, they owned the stock, and then they had short calls before the market opened, right, on the first day of trading, which I believe was February 29th. Well, then on the 29th, they made trades and they sold out of the stock and bought, did synthetics instead. But I did not get a copy of that trade file that day. It was not uploaded to the website, and Jay had said that they had an issue, getting it uploaded that day. So I did not get a copy of that. So then what I had to do, well, didn't have to, but what I did, to try to capture some of it, is I just took the holdings and tried to estimate, what the worth was that day, to get an idea of maybe what they could have paid for it. And that's how, that's all I can do. So those basically all those reds, meaning this is, these numbers aren't exactly going to be correct because it's using estimated numbers. So that was for the last pay period. And then of course now we have here, and if we look here for the short call premium, we have, sorry, my formulas, where's my, so if we look here, we've earned 4.1 million in short call premium, meaning the calls that they sold, the money that they received for that, that's what this data is going to be. And then these are the outstanding shares. So you see that first period, we only had 800,000 shares, and right now we're at over 3 million, and we just hit that, which is what made this go down, because this was at $1.40 something yesterday, and we didn't have any trades, but that's because the outstanding shares increase, so then this decreases, right? Because these are based on those outstanding shares. And then this is the actual distribution, and I may change all these, columns up or whatever. I'm not set in stone on any of this yet. This is just what I quickly had thrown together for the last distribution, which you can see here. It was $1.06.50 there. Of course, here, if I use this number, it's fairly close to this, but looking at, the single stock ETFs, there's no way to just use this or that or whatever to try to estimate this stuff. So, yeah, so that's like one of those things. Well, we can do the numbers and we can gather the data, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the payout. And then, of course, we have down here at the bottom since inception. So this is just adding everything up there. As far as our total short calls, brought in 5 million. Our total earnings per share estimated, because that first one's red, 239. And then, of course, our distribution. And then we'll just continue along this. Over here, then I added this stuff after the fact. So that's why it's sort of over to the side. I might, again, move some of these columns around. We'll see. But if you look here, this is going to be the net of all the short call trades. So this is saying that we've earned a total of 53 cents a share for the net trades. So when we look at, just to show you, if you watch the daily roundup, that's what these numbers up here at the top are. We had the premium amount and we have the short call amount. And then of course we have these here as well, just for reference if you want to see those. And then if you watch the holdings, that's up here. We have all the net short call trades here, and then just the premium amounts there. So whichever video you have, it is on those, even though I don't show this one, in every video. I was doing this in the weekly video. Of course, this past weekend I forgot to do it, and I thought I was well on Friday, and I thought I did all the videos, and I didn't, and then I was sick still the next couple of days, and I still haven't had time to do those, so at this point it doesn't look like they're going to get done for the week, so I do apologize. But, so then here, if we go over, this is now just showing, the actual dollar amount of all of the short call trades, the dollar amount of all these synthetics, and then the dollar amount for all these stocks. Again, there's probably some loss or something there, or even in gains for the stock that they sold, but I can't capture that data because that's not on the holdings as of that first day, so there's no way I could capture that. And it may or may not even matter based on the initial seed money that they had already put in. But anyway, and then we show the total amount of the trades. So it wasn't looking too bad those first 10 days. We were only down 87,000 total, for the entire portfolio. So we opened at inception on that first day at $20.42. And then it closed there at $19.24. And this is just a note. These are using these dates over here just to make it easier for pulling that data up and keeping the same data on this line. But we closed after 10 days down a dollar, was it $1.18 or something like that? Oh, actually I have it in the column R, $1.18, duh. So then you can just sort of see what for that pay period. So now this is going to be the same thing through each one, right? So we had already went through this first part for here. And if we look to see where we're at right now, you can see for the short call, we're at 53 cents right now per share. If we look at the total trades, we're at 1.6. If we look at all the trades for the synthetics, we're at a negative 4.2 million. And then if we look at the stocks, we're at negative 8 million. They bought in, I think it was around March 28th is where the majority of the stocks were bought. And then on April 1st, they needed to go back to holding synthetic positions. So then they just sold all the stocks, which, looking here, it made a huge loss, right? Because, the total trades now is 10.7 million. 8 million of that was just holding that underlying stock. So yeah, holding the underlying may not be the way to go for this stock. Just looking at this small example here. So anyway, that's just going across that so you can see all that data here. It's not really, doesn't have these per share amounts. Now I could, if you wanted, I could make these per share amounts over here versus the dollar, or I could do both. I know I do on here. We have that per share amount up here at the top for this period. So let me know if you want me to keep this or if you want me to add the earnings per share also. I could put, all the earnings per share together, and then I could put all of the actual dollar amounts together if you want to see those. I know sometimes it's a little harder to see when we're just looking at big numbers. It's hard to compare. But anyway, and then so the net assets for this period, right now we're at 53.7 million. So we have a significant increase in net assets there. I could put a percentage change there if we wanted or whatever. Just let me know. I built, these spreadsheets are for y'all and for me to gather this data and show it to you. So your feedback is what I usually go with. I know I have tons of feedback, and I had stuff from the weekend before it was Easter weekend, lots of notes of changes for ULTY I was going to do, and then I made some, and then they went back to holding synthetics, and then I got sick, so none of the changes have happened. But I know I still have lots of requests for changes. At some point, I need to go back and read through some of the YouTube messages and see what I've done and what I haven't. But anyway, getting off track here. So you can see we opened up this pay period at 1947, and then closed. And so what I did do here, let me check this. Yeah, so this is open as of that date versus me using the close of the previous date. Yeah, I should do that because you can see here, right? This was at 4 p.m. and then at 9:30 a.m. on this date, it opened up a little bit, but we're not capturing that extra money lost there. So what I need to do is just clear this, and we're just going to make this equal the close from the previous day. That way we're not missing something, because see, if we go back, well, it actually, so we can see here, it actually ends up opening up more and then falling back. So we're basically counting that time twice. So I'm glad I caught that there. I mean, it helps it a little bit, but not a lot. But we can see so far this pay period, we are down $1.46 so far. So then, of course, then you can see again at the bottom our inception. So where we opened at from day one at 2042, and then where we're at as of today. And so far, we've lost $2.64 a share. Of course, $1 and something was paid out for distributions, but yeah, this is where we're at. And then to go down here on the bottom, so this is just to capture, just in case I want to see it in the future. Like here, I have possible income in red right here, right? Our possible income was that $819,445. And then the ex-dividend date was the 14th for this one. Well, then we had the morning of that, or the end of the previous day, we had 1.1 million outstanding shares. So they have to pay out that $1.06 for that 1.1 million outstanding shares. So they're distributing almost 2 million. So then this is the income minus the distribution. And it's showing a negative 352,000. So based on the estimate, based on using this short call premium, which again, not necessarily right, it just sort of worked, and I didn't have the true numbers for a day. But if I'm using this, and this was about the estimate, which was sort of close to the distribution, then this is what we would have paid more than what we actually brought in. So I just keeping it, in case, later if they want to like do past adjustments because they overpaid in certain months, and they may or may not or whatever, but I just wanted to start capturing that data to see how much, extra we're also paying out. Now, to the part of my opinion, because people always like to ask me what my opinion is. So, and I normally don't give that to you because I deal in facts most of the time, right? And then I let you form your own opinions with those facts. Well, and I've said this in the other videos, so if you've already watched it, you're just hearing the same thing that I've already put out. But, we just did the YieldMax single stock ETFs. We looked at the calculation based on the IV. We looked at the last distribution. We looked at a range of distributions. We looked at, well, what if we use the short call premium? What if we use the short call net? We also had the synthetic data there. I mean, we had tons of data. And when it came down to it, the ones that were closest to the actual distribution, most of them really was closer based on the last distribution. The next closest was using the IV. And in this case, we don't have those. I mean, we do, but we don't. So the last distribution here was for 10 days at $1.06. So, there's that. Now, if we want to do that, then you could say, oh, okay, well, if we paid out 10, and if you look at it as a half of a month, even though it's 10 days and this will be 23 days, then you could say, okay, well, let's just double that. That's $2.12. So, okay, that is a guess. And honestly, YieldMax is Zega, it's all about the yield. And they already paid out that huge distribution up front. And I really wish they hadn't have, because then it makes people feel like it has to double. So then I feel like they feel like they need to double it, even though it's going to, be a detriment to the stock itself. So, that's why I say maybe YieldMax will do around $2, just because their number one concern is yield. But if they want to be on the more conservative side, which is probably what I would do, if I just had my way and I could do what I wanted, I'd be like, yeah, we don't need to be, significantly lower, because then it's, what's that going to look like, right? What's the opinion of everybody else? So like, oh, we don't need to do this because the distribution dropped and the stock's dropping and we all should get out and sell, right? So you can't go too low, but you also can't go too high because of the stock itself. We're at $17. So just for example, if this drops $2.12, I said, what's that, 15.66 roughly. I may not be doing good math right now at midnight. Yeah, that's in what, 6 weeks? We've already lost $4 or $5. That would not look good. But it also wouldn't look good just to pay $1, because we've doubled the days and paid the same. So maybe a healthy balance between the two, and I said this in the Discord today because somebody was asking me, so I typed up this whole long response. But maybe, maybe it's between $1.50 and $1.75 to just sort of appease both things. I don't know, but that's just my thoughts on it, and I honestly do not think my thoughts will change. My personal thoughts will not change between now and the distribution now, or the declaration date. Now, Monday, they could make bukus of money and bring in lots of premium and jack this thing up and woohoo. We don't know what's going to happen. So what I need you to do is let me know how you want me to go forward with this one. So originally I wasn't doing a separate video for the ULTY estimate, just because there wasn't a lot here. Of course, now that I've sort of gone through and tried to explain all these cells again, which a lot of you probably have already seen it if you follow the ULTY videos, this takes time to do it the first time. And then, of course, giving you my opinion and my thoughts. But would you want me to show this again tomorrow, just to show, okay, this is the updated numbers for the, premium amount. This is the update for the short call premium EPS. Here's what we look for on the net. And then, this is where we're at in our outstanding shares. I mean, I can do that. I can do a separate video and just put that out and, maybe only be a couple of minutes. Or I can just leave it, I can just do it within the daily video or the trades and holdings video. I can do one of those. And I can do it separate. Like I said, it's no big deal. I know I do the rest of them separate because they take a little bit of time. But y'all just let me know. Let me know if you think I should change something on here. I know I can't stand the way these columns are and things are moved apart, but I know it's because I had made this side one thing and then I added this stuff on after the fact. But let me know if you want me to do this separately and if you just want me to cover it a few minutes every day, or just add it to my other videos, and we will go from there. But yeah, I don't know. I know this probably isn't what y'all want to hear, and I'm sorry and I apologize. Oh, and the other thing that I forgot to cover is I'd mentioned something about the IV. Here, it's really not there's no way I could do it. I couldn't keep up with it even if I tried, and I don't know that if it's even worth doing it. So, I do track the data if we're looking at for the IV here. So every day, right, we have all this IV, all these high IVs and everything else, and some of them here a few days, some of them here a few weeks. Some of these have been here since inception, and I could try to calculate this for each one of these, but it's just not possible, and I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's going to give us any good data. Unlike the single stock ETFs, I can be like the IV for one of them and do a calculation, and it's simple and easy. So that's where this one is a little tricky. So all we can do is just follow it and try to see what's going on with this one, and I don't know. Maybe one day, maybe Zega hire me, and then maybe I can find out how this thing is calculated. No, I'm playing. I got too many jobs as it is, right? My full-time job, my reserve part-time job, and then this, my free volunteer YouTube job that I do here. That I'm surprised my husband hasn't said anything about. He's actually supported me with this, but it's been rough. You don't know how doing these YouTube videos are until you do them and do all the spreadsheets and do the data and the constant updates and just everything. It's a lot. But anyway, I won't keep y'all anymore. I just wanted to get this out to give y'all something since I know I've been asked, and y'all just need to please provide me the feedback. Do you want me to just do a little update video every day on this, up until declaration? And then, of course, I'll do a follow-up to see if, what it looked like, if there's possibly something we could change, which I don't really think there is in this case. But anyway, I'm going to let y'all go because I still have to do the single stock ETF videos. And I got some changes on that daily roundup. So exciting. Anyway, sorry if this isn't exactly what y'all wanted to hear, but this is just what I have at this point for this new ETF. But y'all have a great day tomorrow. Bye.